Hello and welcome to another Friday at Go Narrative. I hope your week has been a fantastic one. I'm Matthew Woodget, founder and CEO of Go Narrative, and most Fridays, I have to admit, the past couple we didn't do it with spring break and such with the kids. But most Fridays, I pick a company and I tear down their homepage to find exactly where their story breaks. I love doing this. Every single company in the world is ripe for it, apart from a few. And every time we do it, we learn something new. Today, as a founder, I want you to be excited. This is the next step on your journey to getting clearer, to cutting through the noise, to driving what you want to drive, whether that's getting that next round of investment, making sales work, making marketing work, making hiring work, and getting you back to doing what you do best, innovating and building businesses. Because when you have to be in every single room, that's something that you simply do not have the bandwidth to do. And that's what you love. Today, we'll take a little step forward with that. And today, we're going to be looking at Teamfront. Teamfront. So Teamfront is actually 6 software companies. 6 software companies under one roof, all backed by main sale partners, 3,000 customers, 2.2 billion in invoiced volume, and a homepage that's trying to convince bootstrapped founders, possibly like yourself, to trust them with their life's work. Pretty tall order, right? Trust. It's a big one. I'm looking for one thing on this homepage. Where does the homepage try to be 3 things, and as a result, end up being none of them? Now, let's get going. Your homepage opens with a real conviction. Most homepages do, in some way, shape, or form. And 5 words it's come to my attention that we've got some connection problems today. That's a delight, absolute delight, isn't it? Thanks, Restream, for completely and utterly throwing me off my rhythm. It's come to my attention that we may appear to be having some connectivity issues today, which in this day and age is like losing electricity, it seems. So let's see if we can actually crank forward without Restream having completely changed everything that we had set up here. So boy, oh boy. Isn't it great? Isn't it fantastic? You know what? I'm not a superstitious person, but I'm going to blame the music. That music sounds a bit ominous. Let's do something a bit more epic. Maybe this will give us the vibe that we need to actually make Restream rock and roll for us today. Okay. Oh boy, so your homepage, Teamfront, your homepage opens with real conviction. You have 5 words in, and we know what the company believes. And then all of a sudden, one scroll later, it turns into a greeting card. Not because anybody got it wrong per se, but because someone in the room said, shouldn't we mention, right? And nobody said no. That is not a writing problem. That is a decision that didn't hold. And when decisions don't hold, they leak and things creep in. And when things creep in, more things creep in. And before we know it, we are dealing with a spaghetti monster. Today, we're looking at a company that acquires founder-built software businesses, and their whole pitch is trust us. Trust us with what you built, and the homepage can't decide what that trust is actually based on. That is decision leak. The positioning choice gets made, and the page quietly takes it back. Not because anybody did anything nefarious or lied, but because the meeting never adjourned. That decision wasn't made, the action wasn't taken, the meeting was never adjourned. It's still going on the webpage. And everybody's priority made it onto the page. And when everybody's priority makes it onto the page, no priorities are able to stick. Nothing holds. So today we're looking for one thing. And I want you to look with me when we bring up the homepage. Where does the homepage try to be 3 things and end up being none of them? Make sense? 3 things, tries to be 3, and ends up being none of them. Let's go ahead and have a look at Teamfront.com. Teamfront.com, here we go. First thing that you see here, together we thrive on this journey of growth, right? And that's the tagline. The first thing a founder reads when they're deciding whether to trust you with the company that they spent 10 years building, and maybe they've had the idea for longer. And it's a greeting card. Together we thrive on this journey of growth. It's warm. It's inoffensive. It says, Nothing. Underneath it, in smaller type, we have the real positioning line. A united team of software companies and vertical SaaS experts on the front line of everyday industries. The line has identity, I'll give it that. The line has a category, I'll give it that. But it's playing second fiddle to a sentiment. The greeting card got top billing. The conviction got a footnote. So if we keep scrolling down the page, we come across this. 3 promises, 0 decisions. What's in it for you? As a founder, 3 cards. Get back to what you love. Get back to what you love. Get back to what you love. That's the first one. Secondly, protect your legacy. Protect it. Legacy. Protect your legacy. And the third, provide opportunities for your employees. Provide opportunities for your employees. Protect your legacy. Provide opportunities for your employees. Get back to what you love. Say them in any order you want. Let's start with the middle one. Protect your legacy. Provide opportunities for employees. Get back to what you love. 3 different emotional promises to 3 different founder anxieties, all legitimate anxieties. One says, this is a lifestyle play. You get your time back. One says, this is a legacy play. Your brand lives on. It appeals to a different part of who we are. And the other is a people play, right? People. Your team is going to get the stability. Which one of these is team front? All 3? And it's none of them. That's not a value proposition. That's a focus group that never resolved, kind of like that meeting that never adjourned. This is a greeting card with a punchline already printed inside. You are limited when you have that, and there's no space to write your own personal note. The cover looks close enough. Together we thrive. Fine. But open it up and the inside is already filled to the brim. 3 value props, capability claims, 70 years of combined experience. There's no room left to write about what this company actually believes. The card did the talking for them, and it said 3 things instead of 1. I mean, would you buy a greeting card that was trying to be a birthday and an anniversary and Valentine's Day all at once? If you got married on Valentine's Day and your spouse's birthday is Valentine's Day, maybe you would. You might be quite a small market there. Answers on a postcard, answers in a greeting card. I hope the clarity on this is starting to come through, because that's what this is about, right? It's about clarity. The fix here is not better copy. The fix here is not better copy. Sit with that for a second. What I'm not saying here is these words don't quite work. You could iterate on each one of these again and again and again. Bring in a 4th. Get rid of the first. Bring in another. Mix them up. Do a different every quarter. Not talking about the copy here. It's a sequencing decision. Your homepage gets 1 promise. 1. Everything after it keeps that promise or breaks that promise. This is the same for every website. And it's incredibly easy to go off-piste and try and cover too much ground. Together we thrive. Remember, we have that. Together we thrive is a sentiment. On the front line of everyday industries is a position. They can't both be the opening line. Thrive, front line. Pick the one that you would say to a founder as Teamfront, which would it be? Imagine that founder sitting across the table from you. Which one would you pick? Remember, that founder is deciding if they're going to trust you with their company. It's your card. Write it yourself. Leave the pre-printed ones on the shelf. I don't know about you, but even if I'm hunting for a funny card that's got a punchline on the inside, and I'm using that as a vehicle for connection, I much in the crowded out. I believe we may have had another connection disruption. With a bit of luck, we're still going, and things won't suddenly shuffle around again. 2 diagnostic questions. First, if a founder that you're trying to acquire landed on this homepage right now, would they feel like you understand what they're afraid of losing? Because that's a big part of what they're going to potentially experience going into this. I mean, it is going to happen. They're not keeping what they had. It's changing. It is change. Maybe it's good, but it's change. Would you like them to feel you understand that? Or would you rather they feel that they're reading a brochure? We've talked about brochureware on websites for the past 25 years. And the trap is still real, because founders selling their company are not shopping for playbooks. They're looking for somebody that gets it, gets them, and what it costs them to build what they build. Question 2. Look at this homepage and count the promises. Look at your homepage. Go look at your homepage and count the promises. Not the features. The promises. That's a very important part of the exercise. So go look at your homepage and count the promises, not the features. If you count more than one promise, you haven't made a decision. Not yet. You haven't done it. You're hedging your bets. You've made a committee feel comfortable. And look, we've all been there, right? But your job, a big part of your job as a leader, as the founder of your firm, is to end the meeting, is to close out the committee and to make a decision. Which promise would you keep from the ones you counted if you could only keep one? And then take that promise and go spend some time thinking about it. Imagine that's the one thing that you're saying to that founder sitting across the table and on your website, your homepage. We opened up with Teamfront and how the homepage opens with a conviction, and then one scroll later we've got this greeting card, and here's what's actually happening here at Teamfront. They have 6 companies. They've got real traction in the market, 3,000 customers, and a genuine belief about what bootstrap companies and bootstrap founders deserve. Teamfront have that. And the page buries all of it under a sentiment that we could bring to any company in any industry. Every founder who lands on the page Every founder who lands on the page yet again, we've got something crazy going on. I don't know. I'm trying to just have me on the video here. Just switched over to, well, if you see this in your company, if you see multiple promises and the page is bearing all of it, and multiple promises, multiple features, every founder who lands on this page, every customer who lands on your page, if they don't feel something, it's not a traffic problem, it's a decision that didn't hold, because that traffic problem is going to compound over time, and you've got to look for the root of what it is. Because what's on that page is getting indexed by search, by AI, and you need the decisions that you're making as a leader to hold. So if you see this in your company, book a narrative diagnostic. We will find where the decision leaked and what it's costing you. You can go up to gonarrative.com and click on the button in the top right, and you will go straight to that link. And the clarity of why this matters, bubbling up, making sense, the need to have one promise and have everything serve that promise. Let's have a look, see if we've got some questions. Let's see. Well, there we go. There's a couple here. This one is related directly to that. Let's take it then. What if you genuinely have 3 different audiences? Don't you need to speak to all of them? What if you genuinely have 3 different audiences? Don't you need to speak to all of them? I would also put a spin on this. It's similar, it's different. The answer is going to be the same. What if if your audience genuinely has 3 different pains? Don't you need to speak to all of them? Now, the action, similar, but arguably slightly different. We had 3 promises on the team front page, right? Get back to what you love, protect your legacy, provide opportunities for employees. And I can imagine being in the committee where the conversation went something like this. But we do want founders to get back to what they love. And we know that many of them want to protect their legacy, maybe all of them. And they're concerned about what's going to happen to their employees. Okay, so maybe that's true. This is the most common pushback I hear about a decision leak. You need to pick the one that earns the right to introduce the others. Now, the nuance I alluded to there, the difference between if you have 3 different audiences and 3 different pains. The nuance is the right to introduce, right? So it's a literal with 3 different audiences. It's a literal answer. Pick the one that's going to give you the audience that's going to be the best bridge into the other audiences. And from a pain perspective, pick the one that's going to earn you the right to have the other conversations. Therefore, in that meeting that still has never ended for Teamfront, where the conversation about get back to what you love, protect your legacy, and provide opportunities for employees. Well, let's pick one. Let's do it. Let's help. Let's make it real. We're picking from the website of something that's there today, and we're going to stick a line in the sand. We're going to take a step forward on our journey together, because I know that you've got this problem too. I have this problem. We all do. We all have to actively work against this. This is entropy in play. This is a challenge that even if you solve it today, it's going to come back in the future. You need to build the muscle. You need to think. Decision leak happens. And then you'll be teed up to deal with it in the future. So let's pick one. Let's do it. I'm going to pick eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to pick protect your legacy. Protect your legacy. We make the entire promise, protect your legacy. Think about what the website you've seen today would look like. Protect your legacy. Lead with that and owning that. How does that then earn you the right to introduce to the other panes? The next click down, whether it's a subpage on the website, a meeting with a founder that's potentially going to join. We will protect your legacy. That's important. Boom. We're with you. We got it. We get it. We get you. We love you. We're in this together. We're going to protect your legacy. Okay. Great, they say. Across the other side of the table. Then the conversation continues. And you know what? That looks like blah, 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 blah. We do this, we do that, we work this together. And the questions come. Well, what about this? How do I have this concern, that concern? Boom, 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 boom. Conversation's getting deeper. And then Team Front are able to slide it in if it doesn't come up naturally. And we know that your employees are a big part of this. What are your concerns about that? If they haven't brought it up already. Oh, I'm this concern, that concern, this thing, that thing. Okay, great, fantastic. That we see a part of protecting your legacy is the vision you have for the opportunity for your employees that you talked about. Part of what we do includes this thing, that thing, this feature, that feature, right? And the conversation, yes, great, fantastic. And then maybe it's the end of the conversation. Maybe they don't even have to go into it in too much detail. And remember, because we care so much about protecting your legacy and all the things we talked about today, yes, including the employee stuff. When you walk out of this room, you're going to go and get back to what you love to do, aren't you? Yeah. What is that? They have a conversation about it. And you know what? Same thing's going to happen when you work with us. But you don't need all of these promises up front. You will scare off everybody on the speed dating circuit if you try and unload it all at once. You remember the early days of the pitch competitions, and the one that didn't go well. You made all this stuff, tried communicating all this stuff, and then you got some feedback, you got some advice, and you managed to get it tighter and tighter and tighter, right? Like I said, this will come back. Great question. Let's pick one more, and then we can give you a full half hour to go and rock and roll, getting back to what you love. Let's see. Let's see. Ooh! Oh, I like this one. This one is good. I like this one. Let's do this one. Okay. Here we go. Does the greeting card metaphor apply to investor decks too? Oh, thanks for asking that question, because as a founder who's on this call, who's like wanting to get some tangible stuff out of it that you can just keep pushing forward while you're waiting for that narrative diagnostic that's on the calendar to come around next week or whenever. You're doing what you love, right? Does it apply to investor decks too? Yes. Absolutely. Decks that open with the vision statements instead of the problem they solve have the same pattern, right? Pre-printed sentiment. Vision statements. right? Think about what that means to you. Every time there's like, has the connection reestablished? I hope so. I shall continue. Vision statements, pre-printed sentiment. Think about vision statements. It's the cat poster on the wall, right? The vision statement. Pre-printed sentiment. That is not conviction. That is not your conviction. That is not your passion connected to the problem that you solve for your customers. And that's why when we were putting together this teardown, and we were talking about the metaphor we wanted to use, and there was a question from the team about, do we want to do this? Is it a bit too consumer-based? And I said, no, it's great because it aligns with the pre-printed sentiment concept, aligns very much with those high-level, general, nice things that we can say and that we run the risk of in business of reducing what we do to when we go off in the wrong direction. And the wrong direction means not aligned with the pains of the world that we're trying to solve. Just like I said at the beginning of this, actually something similar to getting back to what you love is, as a founder who's made it through Series A, 6 to 9 months out from Series B, you know that classic case of what got us to here isn't going to get us to there, right? What we said, how we said it, that made us through pre-seed, seed, and Series A was consistent and specific and all related, and it was about this innovation and showing and proving that people loved it enough to buy it, and then using the resources we got from our investors to do more of that. But Series B is about scale. It's about doing that with more markets, doing that with new innovations, with new technology, doing it better, more efficient, fast, whatever it happens to be. That's the type of investment that is being made in your business at Series B. And at the same time, your company is twice as big as what it was, got more people, and you're trapped in every decision, in every room. You have to be there, otherwise things aren't moving forward. And the greeting card metaphor, to me, really screamed at that platitudes. We've seen so many of the kind of Hallmark holiday kind of platitude feelings that we get on some of these cards. When I pick a card, I like to pick a card from the heart that aligns and matches with the person I'm buying for. Maybe they love art. Maybe that's the right thing. Maybe it is. Maybe funny. Maybe it's an observation. Maybe it's a subject. Maybe they love dogs or whales. Right? It's an involved process of coming up with something that is for that person, and that is the risk of the vision statements. That's the risk of the platitudes, and not only could that have been a problem leading up to Series A, but for Series B, you need to be telling your story in a way that connects all of these dots together and does it without you in the room. And that, as you know, is a huge challenge. And if you could solve that, you know that you would be able to get back to what you love, which is innovating and solving problems and growing the business. And when your bandwidth is freed up, you can use that skill set and that talents and that experience to do that for the new markets, for the new product, for the new technology, as a proof point for Series B. And that is why I love helping you with solving this decision leak problem by getting this crystal clear, having it focused, picking that one promise, ensuring that that connects to the true heart and soul of your company, to you as a founder, to your team, to how the best sales, the best deals, the best investments are happening today, and to codify that in a way that you can have your whole team say when you're not in the room. That is the beginning of what our conversation will be when we have that narrative diagnostic call. And that, my friends, is the end of today's episode. Thank you so much. Thank you for the questions. Brilliant. I absolutely love them. I will share the link here, get the link up for the website so you can go ahead and pop over and book your narrative diagnostic. And thank you very much. Wishing you a wonderful rest of your Friday. Can't wait to hear about the decision leak that you're experiencing. Can't wait to see your website and be able to have a conversation, one-on-one conversation about your site, kind of like we did today here with Teamfront. And have a great one. Think about what that next story you're going to tell is. Bye for now.